opportunity to share with you my political thoughts in this election. Because you know why? Um, I got this in the mail. Okay, this is the mail-in ballot coming from the Philippines Los Angeles consulate. And as you know, it's not only me, but all of my children, the 8 of them, um, we are Filipino citizens. We are dual citizens, and we don't take it lightly. We are proud Muslim Filipinos, and I have inculcated in my children that no matter what, wherever we are, we should not allow ourselves to be assimilated by the country where we have migrated. We are proud Muslims. I'm a Sama, we are Tausug, we are Yakans. That is our, lineage. And so all of my children, regardless of our, status in life, here in United States of America, we always think of our country and whatever social and political activities that's going on in our country. And so we have elections in the Philippines, and the election in the Philippines is very crucial. It is a battle of the heart and soul of the nation, for one reason, because there is a candidate that does not reflect, the values, social, political values of the nation. And it's very important for all of us, the 67.5 million Filipinos, to come up with a diligent effort, use the act of discernment in choosing the rightful candidate. An election is not fun. It is not fun. It is something that is serious, because whoever is elected in this election in our country, whether national or local, it will have consequences. So if we choose the wrong candidate, then for the next 6 years, if these are, the candidates for president and vice president and senators, we are going to suffer. So if you chose the wrong candidate in the local elections, meaning provincial, municipal, and city, you will also suffer the consequences. So it's very important then that we have to choose the rightful candidate. And it's not only about us. We have to think collectively as a nation. But we can only think collectively as a nation in choosing the rightful candidate based on a certain criteria. It should emanate from the family, because the nucleus of the countries, the nation, is the family. So as a parent, it is our obligation and responsibility then that when we make our decisions, not only political, but including social, domestic, or any type of decisions that you make, we always reflect and have it based and anchored on the kind of values that we have inculcated to our children. Values that we preach to our children should be practiced. And so there are questions that came up where they always ask me, private message, they said, Joey, how do you cast your vote? Well, very simple. I cast my vote based on the values, the family values that we have. And these values that we have, as far as I'm concerned, didn't come from me, but rather it came from my late parents, Bob, the late Bob, and Noring Tugong. As you know, both of them have already went ahead of us. They are political figures, and they are paragon of what a public official is. And so in the process where, during the time when they were alive, they have not only shown to us, me, my siblings, but they have spoken to us lengthily about how we should conduct ourselves and make decisions when it comes to electoral matters. And so what they've inculcated to me and my siblings, this is exactly the same that I have also shared with my children. And so, how do I cast my vote? Right? How do I make my decision? But first of all, let me show you. Okay, this is the mail-in ballot that I got from the Philippine Consulate. It's addressed to me. I have registered, equally so. All my children also got this. Now, election is on May 9. And all of these ballots, the Philippine Consulate started to mail it around first week of April. But why is it only now that I got it? Because they go by alphabetical order. So, Tugong, T, so that would be more or less at the tail end. So that's why I only got it today. So after casting my vote, I'll mail this today. I'll pass by, I'll drop by the post office. And will this be counted? The answer, of course, is yes. For as long as it is postmarked on or before May 9, and that will be counted. So let's open this mail-in ballot that I got from the Philippine Consulate, and it's so secure. Okay, and I have to use a letter opener. You see how these things work. And by the way, we always exercise our civic duty. We never fail as a family because, we are political and social advocates, all of my children. We are very much engaged when it comes to matters like this because this is all about, our concern for the nation and also in general humanity. Okay, so what do we have here? So one, how to send your vote by mail. Okay, so there is an instruction inside the envelope that was included by the Philippine Consulate, of course, by our COMELEC. And so I'm not going to go through this process one by one. I will take care of this later after my blog, my video blog. Okay, and so this is the special ballot reception and custom group. When I mail it, okay, this will be received by this particular group because they will do the counting. And of course, we're using the automated Smartmatic machine. So they will just feed in the ballots. And we don't have to spend because it's already prepaid, the postage. If you notice here, it's already here. So I don't have to, buy stamp in this regard. And what is important, and it shows here, signature, okay, for purposes of identification. So I will sign here, and then I will print my name. And then, when it reaches them, okay, this is sealed, secured, and it comes with the ballot ID number, ballot envelope number, and so I don't know, they go through this process. So let's go to the ballot itself. See here, and here's the back portion of the ballot. And I'm not going to go through this one by one. But if you are an overseas Filipino, either a worker or a migrant, and if you are considered to be a dual citizen, just like me and all of my children, because we love our country very much. And not only that, especially me and my children knows that, inshallah, in the near future, I will be home for good. There is no place like home. And not only that, I still have many unfinished business to be done in our country. And what is that? I will continue with the political legacy of my late parents, Bob and Noring Tugong. So I will be very active back home. And where is that? In Zamboanga City. And hopefully it will pan out throughout the country. Because I am one person. While I am still alive, I will do all my best to educate our fellow citizens so that we will have an upright, responsive, honest, transparent, and accountable government or government officials for that matter. So, it is a given that if you are an overseas voters, you don't vote for, there is no space here for the local officials. All of these are national officials, okay? We're running for, president, vice president, senators, congressman, no. Party list, yes. So there were issues regarding ballots in Hong Kong, in Singapore, and part of the Middle East, and including in Australia, I gathered. Because, I watch Filipino news 24 horas every day when I wake up in the morning because I'm a person that always keep myself abreast with what is happening in our country because I'm very much concerned with what is going on. So for president, say here, vote one. And they said there is an issue that there are other candidates that are not listed here. The answer is no. Okay? All of the candidates for president are here. So we have Ernie Abella, Leody de Guzman, Isko Damagoso Moreno, Roberto Gonzales, Ping Lacson, Faisal Mangundato, Bongbong Marcos, Jose Montemayor, Manny Pacquiao, and of course, Leni Robredo. So meaning it's complete. Okay? So there is no such thing as a fraud that has been committed by the COMELEC. For Vice President, I don't have to go through this, but all of the respective Vice President are in this list. For Senator, there are a lot. There are 64. Okay? And for the party list system, there are 178 at the back. Okay? At the back. See? And it says here, only choose one. Not too much. Out of 178, there's only one. Honestly speaking, this party list system, this is useless as far as I'm concerned. There is no need for a party list system because, why? All of our representatives in House and the Senate, they can pass laws, okay, pertaining to the different sectors of society. This actually drains our coffers. Money that can be used for projects, support, services throughout the country. Okay, but this is what it is. It is in our 1987 Philippine Constitution, and so we'll just have to live with it. But hopefully someday, somehow, they're going to revise our Philippine Constitution to remove the party list. Okay, and so after this, I'm going to cast my vote. I'm not going to tell you specifically who I'm going to vote, but this is what I can tell you. I am not voting for a particular candidate. I'm voting for my country. The candidate running for president, they are simply means to an end. They are just wherewithal. I don't have any love for the candidate that I'm going to vote. I am not even fascinated to any of these candidates. I'm not even attracted to their physical, physical. Not only that, anything that they say, I'm not really attracted. I always base it on their performance, their public life, their public persona, their qualifications. But on top of that, above all, my criteria, my family's criteria, which I have learned from my late father, is always based on the family values that we have. So in other words, this candidate that we are going as a family is going to vote, it should be reflective, the embodiment, the epitome of the family values that we have. So in other words, if our family values does not align or is not reflective of what a candidate stands for, we are not going to vote for them. So basic in our family values is, which we have learned from my late parents, is, which I have inculcated to my children. Do not lie, do not steal, do not cheat. So simply put, if a candidate is a liar, then our family is not going to vote for him. If a candidate steals, in other words, he is corrupt, then our family is not going to vote for him. If a candidate is a cheater, we are not going to vote for him. So when you say cheat, in other words, He does not, he's not honest. He does not make himself accountable. He is not transparent. He does not submit himself to any interviews or participate in any debate or lies or cheat as to his educational qualification. My family is not going to vote for him. Because if I am going to vote for a candidate who runs contrary to the values that I've inculcated to my children, then what moral ascendancy do I have? Do you think I can tell my children, do not lie, do not steal, do not cheat, when they knew that their father supported, endorsed, voted for a candidate who is a liar, who is a cheater, who steals? So it will affect my moral ascendancy as a patriarch of the Tugong family. There are a lot of moral values that I've inculcated to my children. And one of that would be being honest. If a candidate is not honest, he lies, then we're not going to vote for him. If a candidate does not have all the necessary qualifications to be the president of the country, when I say qualifications, my friends, okay, it covers a wide array, a range of gamut. So qualifications, one would be educational. So if he or she does not have the necessary educational qualifications, remember, we are voting for the number one, highest, top public official in the country. Okay? And they always come up with this explanation, this rationalization that, well, under the Constitution, for as long as a candidate knows how to read and write, then he is qualified. But my friends, we are talking here of the president, the presidency. If it's barangay, perhaps, acceptable. Councilor, acceptable perhaps. Or even mayor, acceptable. But we are talking of a country of 114 million Filipinos that he or she has to manage and run these institutions in order to deliver all the necessary services to our country. So, if you did not earn a degree, then why would I vote for you? Would you imagine, as a father, I always tell my children, you must excel educationally. In other words, you must have a bachelor's degree at least. Now, if I'm going to vote for a candidate who lied, who does not have an educational degree, then why will it's not reflective of what I've inculcated to my children. So if I vote for him, then my children will say, Dad, why are we going, why are we going to vote for this candidate when you said that educational qualification matters? When you said honesty is very important. When you said being an achiever is very important. And so, this candidate, particular candidate who lied, no. He's out of my list. And if a candidate is not an achiever, doesn't have any performance at all, why would I vote for him? Because I always, family values. I said, kids, we have to be an achiever. Just like your late father, your Lolo Bob and Mamita Noring. All of them are achievers in life, in public service. You see? This is very simple. That's why I am very much surprised and perplexed. I have a lot of friends in the Facebook who are professionals. Professionals, would you imagine that? Doctors, engineers, lawyers. And I have friends, fraternal friends. Okay? Fraternity. I belong to Order of the Mole. And there are a lot of organizations that we have there. And I am very much surprised they're voting for this particular candidate. When our organization, of which I'm very proud of, the Order of the Mole, love for country, we are being patriotic. We stand based on Shaks de Mole, because I'm talking about the Mole. The virtues that we have. So if you vote for this particular candidate, it does not reflect the values that I have learned when I joined that fraternity. So on the same token, there are a lot of fraternities. We have Apo, Beta Sigma, Kappa Rho, or Tau Gamma. You know, my friends, all of those organizations and fraternities, they teach you the right values. Okay? But I'm very surprised why you are supporting this particular candidate who does not have the values that we have learned from our fraternity. The values that we have in our family. See? And not only that, before this election, you know, these friends that I have, you know, they're against corruption. They're against political dynasty. They're against public officials who does not respect or obey the law. And surprisingly now, they're supporting this candidate who refuses to pay his or her taxes. And as an administrator of the estate, refuses even to acknowledge that they owe the government more than $100 billion. So that's why I'm very surprised. Is this the kind of values that you are going, or that you have inculcated to your children? That lying and stealing is cheating, and cheating is okay? So you will not be surprised if your children will not respect you. Because you are campaigning for a candidate that does not reflect the kind of values that you have inculcated to your children. When they were young, okay, you nurtured them. What did you tell them? You told them education is very important. You told them to be honest. You told them not to lie, not to steal, not to cheat. And here you are, as a professional, you are voting, supporting, very much fascinated with a candidate who is a liar, a cheater, and who steals. Now let me tell you, I am a martial law baby. And all of you keep on saying, well, you know what? We have to move on. But move on, but you don't understand what is moving on. There is only moving on when there is truth, justice, and reconciliation. The person himself, your candidate, including the family, they have not apologized. They were not truthful. They have not accepted responsibility as to what transpired during the regime under martial law for 21 years. Don't you know that we are a pariah? Isolated at that time. We didn't have our soul. We didn't have our national identity. And after the 1986 revolution, after we had the people power, you know, we were highly respected by all the 165 countries around the world. That Filipinos, you know, they stood up to a dictator. They were able to regain back their freedom, their national identity. And here we are, a nation of fool. I'm very surprised why they want the son now to be, you know, their president. That is the highest hypocrisy that we have. Would you imagine? Can you picture seeing them back in Malacanang Palace? And the 3,000 pair of shoes that has been, you know, an issue. And now she's going to use it again. It is a mockery. A mockery, my friends. I really do not understand why we have this fascination. That's why it's not very surprising. Whether you love him or hate him. You know President Duterte? He's the first president throughout the history of our country, political history of our country, that has not endorsed nor supported any presidential candidate. On the contrary, he said, he is lazy. He is a spoiled brat. A cocaine user. We're not talking about cocaine. Drugs is a social ill of society. We tell our children, do not take drugs, right? And here you are. You're a professional, a doctor, a teacher, an engineer, supporting a candidate who is or who used to be a drug user, you cannot deny that. Okay? He was born with a silver spoon and fork, party here, party there. You don't know during the martial law period. Okay, that enclave there, that Malacanang Palace, is not the official residence. It is a house where they party left and right. They drink booze, drugs, party here, party there, while the millions of Filipinos were suffering. They were tortured. They were incarcerated. And now, you want them back? Where is your mind? So that's why it's not surprising why President Duterte said, it is actually a message that he's sending to us. Short of saying, please do not vote for this person. Whether you hate him, but he has the wisdom. He knows the gravity and the seriousness of that office. We cannot give this office to that person. We cannot. We are going, you want to relive those days? There is only one thing. I don't know, it doesn't have to take a rocket scientist, my friends. The only purpose that he wants to be in that position, to regain the power, is purely personal. Purely personal. With all of the cases that they have, okay? And the billions of pesos that they still have, that they stole. Now, do not tell me then that, the sins of the father should not be attributed also to the sins of the son. My friends, it was a family venture. Okay? What they did. So all of them are involved. So, personal. Once in the position, trust me, they are going to abolish PCGG. If they're not going to abolish PCGG, what would happen is they're going to pressure the PCGG officials or not. Of course, they will appoint, their own in order to, remove or cancel, okay, whatever agreement that they have to return back the money. In all of these cases that they have, they're going to appoint a BIR commissioner. That will be them. They're not going to run after them anymore. The taxes that they owe. All of these cases in Sandigan Bayan or in the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeals, or even the Regional Trial Court. Okay? They're not going to move forward. They're going to push forward. Why? Because who appoints them? Supreme Court. It's the President, right? Court of Appeals. President. Sandigan Bayan. President. Okay? With the regional trial official, RTC, municipal or trial court, although it's not the president, but it goes to the Judicial Bar Council. Who will be the head? And this person is going to appoint someone who will take their side. And so hopefully, okay, the election will be on May 9. Hopefully you're not going to cast your vote for this particular person. Always, my friend, remember, the criteria is, okay, it should be reflective of the family values that you have. Because what moral standing are you going to have if you're going to vote for this candidate as it relates to your children? It is all about our children. Why? Because they are our future. They are the future generations. We don't want a moral decay. It should start with us. We want a society where the next generation, our children, will have a society, okay, that would help them, okay, have a very good kind of governance. And so, my friends, I prayed throughout Ramadan that we will have a fair, honest election, that all of our electorates are going to open up their mind to choose the rightful candidate. I'm not going to endorse any of the candidates, but you already know that that candidate, particular candidate, that I am going to cast my vote now, and all my children, is based on one criteria. our love for our country is reflective of the kind of moral values that this person, that this candidate should have. Okay? So, I wish you all the best and prayers to all of you and all my blessings. So please, use your discernment. Okay? Don't get too emotional when you vote for a candidate. Don't get too emotional. Use your brains. Use your brains. It all starts with us as a parent, as a father, as a mother. So that's why I'm very surprised. In the Facebook, my friends, your professionals. I will not judge you. But honestly speaking, my perception of you had changed. You imagine? During those days before this election, you were against corruption. You were against dynasty. You were against being dishonest, public officials. You're against officials who does not obey the law. And here you are. You're supporting this candidate. I mean, you did not earn my respect. You lost my respect, honestly speaking. And if you see this, well, I'm telling the truth. When I'm going to see you, yeah, I will say hi and hello. But at the back of my mind, you have not earned my respect. You're not good as a parent. Because you're showing to your children that lying, stealing is cheating, and cheating is okay. Okay? Good luck to all of us. And I love you all. And hopefully, okay, we will